As the drama intensifies on the bold and the beautiful, the Spencer family finds itself caught in a whirlwind of emotional turmoil, shifting loyalties, and high-stakes decisions. At the heart of this upheaval is Liam Spencer, whose terminal diagnosis of a brain tumor is slowly unraveling not only his life, but also the relationships within his family, especially between him and his father, Bill Spencer. Bill, a man known for his ruthless business tactics and larger-than-life persona, is about to undergo a personal transformation that will alter the course of his relationship with Liam and impact those around them in ways no one could have foreseen. When Bill learns of Liam's condition, the revelation shakes him to his core. The man who has always been consumed with power, wealth, and control finds himself helpless in the face of his son's terminal illness. The idea that Liam, his flesh and blood, is slipping away from him is a harsh reminder of life's fragility, and Bill's world begins to shift. For the first time in a long while, he realizes that all the wealth and power he has accumulated can't save his son. As he grapples with this devastating truth, Bill's emotions go through a turbulent roller coaster. His initial shock and denial slowly give way to a deep, gnawing fear, the fear of losing Liam, a fear that forces him to confront the mistakes of his past and the fractured relationship he has with his son. Bill's desire to do everything in his power to save Liam leads him down a path of desperation. Determined not to lose his son without a fight, Bill pulls out all the stops. He throws his wealth and influence into the search for a miracle cure. He explores every avenue, from experimental treatments to cutting-edge therapies, hoping against hope that something, anything, might offer a glimmer of salvation for Liam. Bill taps into every resource at his disposal: his vast network of connections, his wealth, and his unrelenting drive. For Bill, money and power have always been tools to get what he wants, and he's determined to use them now to save his son. Even when faced with the possibility of failure, Bill presses on, unwilling to accept that Liam's time is running out. Despite Bill's efforts, the situation grows increasingly dire. The experimental treatments Bill funds fail to make a dent in Liam's condition, and the truth begins to settle in: there may be nothing that can save his son. Bill's world is crashing down around him as he realizes that no amount of money or influence can change the inevitable. Yet, in the midst of his grief, a shift begins to take place within him. As Liam's condition worsens, Bill starts to reevaluate his priorities. His deep regret over their strained relationship becomes more pronounced. He regrets the missed opportunities to bond with his son, the times he prioritized business over family. Bill's past mistakes weigh heavily on him, and with the clock ticking on Liam's life, he begins to see the importance of mending their relationship before it's too late. He tries to bridge the gap between them, making efforts to reconnect with Liam and be the father he should have been all along. It's a bittersweet realization, knowing that the time they have left together is so limited. But there is a looming sense of inevitability that hangs over the Spencer family. Despite all of Bill's efforts to save Liam, there is one question that remains unanswered. If Liam dies, who will fill the void left by his death? The show teases the possibility that Liam's tragic demise could make way for another significant loss, this time tied to a different character, Taylor Hayes. As Taylor's heart condition worsens, her own life hangs in the balance, and the show hints that her fate could be sealed in a way no one expects. Taylor, a beloved character who has always been at the heart of the drama, seems to be heading toward an untimely end. It's a cruel twist of fate that Taylor's health is deteriorating just as Liam is fighting for his life, and the show seems to suggest that one life will end to make room for another loss. If Liam dies, could Taylor's death be the next devastating blow to the Spencer and Forrester families? As tensions rise, Luna Nozawa, a character with her own dark motives, begins to play an increasingly sinister role in the unfolding drama. Luna, who has already proven to be manipulative and calculating, sees an opportunity in the chaos surrounding Liam's diagnosis. With her eyes set on Finn, she continues to exploit his vulnerability, attempting to form a connection with him despite Steffi's objections. Luna's intentions are unclear, but she's determined to use the situation to her advantage. However, the revelation that Luna has been keeping a close watch on Taylor and is plotting something more nefarious takes the stakes to an entirely new level. Luna's calculated moves take a darker turn when she begins to target Taylor. Recognizing Taylor's vulnerability due to her heart condition, Luna takes a dangerous step toward eliminating her as a threat to her own ambitions. Luna is not just after Finn's attention. She's willing to go to extreme lengths to ensure that Taylor is out of the picture. Luna's ruthless pursuit culminates in a confrontation with Taylor, one that threatens to escalate into violence. The tension between the two women reaches a boiling point as Luna makes a move to end Taylor's life, hoping to eliminate her once and for all. In a shocking moment of tension and danger, Luna takes action, and the result is a violent struggle that leaves Taylor's life hanging in the balance. Just as Luna is about to carry out her deadly plan, fate intervenes. The chaos of the situation, the rising stakes, and the overwhelming emotions create a volatile environment where Luna's sinister intentions are on the brink of being realized. But in a twist of fate, Luna's plot is thwarted, and Taylor's life is spared at least for the moment. Luna's failure to carry out her plan, however, leaves her more dangerous than ever. She is a woman on the edge, and her unhinged actions threaten to rip apart the very fabric of the Spencer and Forrester families. As Luna's schemes unfold, the show deepens the mystery surrounding her true motivations. Is she just trying to manipulate Finn for her own gain, or is there something more sinister behind her actions? Her ability to manipulate and control situations, especially in moments of vulnerability, makes her a powerful and dangerous character, and her actions in the coming episodes will have far-reaching consequences for everyone involved. The dramatic tension between family loyalty, personal ambition, and love continues to build as the characters of The Bold and The Beautiful grapple with life-or-death situations that test their strength and resilience. Liam's impending death, Bill's desperate attempts to save him, and Luna's ruthless actions form the core of this latest chapter in the show's ongoing saga. The stakes have never been higher, and as the characters struggle to navigate their relationships and confront their fears, the audience is left on the edge of their seats, wondering who will survive and who will be lost in the chaos. What will be the final cost of these devastating decisions, and who will ultimately pay the price? The drama continues to unfold, leaving no one untouched by the devastating blows that are yet to come. In the latest twist of The Bold and The Beautiful, the show takes a darker turn as secrets are unraveled and emotions run high. At the center of the drama is Liam Spencer, whose devastating diagnosis of a brain tumor has not only rocked his world, but also threatens to break apart the Spencer family in the most unexpected ways. While Liam initially wants to keep his diagnosis a secret to shield his loved ones from the unbearable pain of knowing he is dying, the truth inevitably begins to seep out. And as the Spencer family faces this heart-wrenching situation, Luna Nozawa, with her manipulative tendencies and uncanny ability to exploit vulnerable moments, sees an opportunity to insert herself into Will Spencer's life in a way no one could have anticipated. Liam's battle with his brain tumor becomes a ticking time bomb in the Spencer family, with emotions running wild as Liam's condition deteriorates. His decision to keep the truth from his family, particularly his brother Will, is driven by a desire to protect them from the crushing blow of his impending death. However, as his condition worsens, it becomes increasingly difficult for Liam to keep up the facade. While he is determined to maintain some semblance of normalcy, the weight of his illness becomes too much to bear in isolation. As Liam faces the reality of his limited time, he contemplates whether he should finally tell Will the truth about his diagnosis. Bill Spencer, struggling with the pain of knowing that his son's days are numbered, is caught in a moral dilemma. He is torn between respecting Liam's wishes and keeping the devastating secret from Will, and doing what he feels is right by telling his son the truth. Bill's internal struggle reaches a breaking point when he finally receives an update on Liam's condition and realizes just how close his son is to the end. Liam, understanding the emotional toll that the truth would take on Will, encourages his father to keep the information from him, pushing Bill to let Will continue to focus on his own life and happiness, especially with Electra Forrester by his side. But Bill is not so sure. He knows the importance of family in times like these, and he believes that Will deserves to know the truth. He hopes that by revealing Liam's prognosis, it will allow the brothers to spend precious time together before it's too late. However, just as Bill is about to tell Will, fate takes a cruel turn. Will, overhearing part of the conversation, stumbles upon the devastating truth. The shock of hearing that his brother is dying shakes him to his core. The realization that the life he thought he had with Liam is about to be torn away causes a profound sense of grief to wash over him. As Will grapples with this overwhelming news, he feels a deep sense of helplessness, unable to comprehend the pain that awaits his family. In the midst of all the chaos, Electra Forrester, Will's love interest, tries to support him through this difficult time. She knows that Will is struggling, but she also understands the need for him to process this news in his own way. Electra offers her comfort, but Will, in his grief and confusion, begins to distance himself. His mind is clouded with the weight of Liam's condition, and he struggles to come to terms with the inevitable loss he's about to face. Electra, recognizing that Will needs space, respects his wishes and refrains from pushing him to talk. But her heart aches for him, knowing that he is carrying this heavy burden alone. It is during this vulnerable time that Luna Nozawa, a woman with a history of manipulation and deceit, sees an opportunity to insert herself into Will's life. Luna, who has already shown her ability to exploit the emotional turmoil of those around her, recognizes that Will is in a fragile state and might be susceptible to her advances. She knows that the pain of losing Liam is weighing heavily on him, and she sees this as a chance to provide him with the comfort he desperately needs, and perhaps even gain something for herself in the process. Luna's approach to Will is calculated. She doesn't come at him with overt seduction or forceful advances, but instead offers him a sympathetic ear, a comforting presence during his darkest hour. She tells him that she understands his pain and that he doesn't need to go through it alone. Will, caught in a moment of weakness, finds himself gravitating toward Luna's seemingly genuine offer of support. In his grief, he allows himself to believe that maybe Luna is the one person who can help him forget, if only for a moment, the devastation he's facing with Liam. The lines between comfort and manipulation blur as Luna pushes further, convincing Will that she can bring him solace in his time of need. Luna's actions become more daring as she attempts to take their connection to a more intimate level. She urges Will to give in to his desires and take comfort in her, making it clear that she can offer him something Electra cannot in his time of emotional vulnerability. Will, in his fragile state, succumbs to the temptation. What starts as an attempt to find solace in someone who seems to understand him spirals into a moment of betrayal, as Will and Luna share a passionate encounter in the bedroom. The consequences of this act, however, become painfully clear to Will almost immediately. His guilt begins to gnaw at him as he realizes the betrayal he has just committed, not only against Electra, but also against the love he has built with her. The aftermath of the night with Luna is nothing short of disastrous for Will. The regret that follows is overwhelming. He finds himself wrestling with the emotional fallout from his actions, unable to face Electra, knowing that he has crossed a line he can never undo. The weight of the betrayal is heavy on his shoulders, and as he tries to come to terms with what he has done, he finds himself unable to face her. He becomes distant, withdrawn, and consumed by the guilt that is threatening to destroy his relationship with Electra. Luna, on the other hand, seems unfazed by the consequences of their actions. She continues to push her presence on Will, convincing him that he made the right choice by seeking comfort in her. While Will tries to distance himself from Luna, he cannot shake the hold she seems to have over him. He knows that he needs to confront what he's done and come clean to Electra, but the thought of facing her and the pain he's caused makes him hesitate. Meanwhile, Luna, sensing Will's growing unease, continues to play the role of the sympathetic confidant, wrapping him in a web of deceit and manipulation that only deepens his internal turmoil. As Will's emotional state deteriorates, Electra becomes more concerned. She knows something is off, but can't quite put her finger on it. She tries to offer him the support he needs, but Will pulls away, unable to share the truth of what he's done. The tension between them builds, and Electra is left wondering if she will ever truly be able to reach Will and help him heal from the pain of losing Liam. Meanwhile, Luna watches from the sidelines, satisfied with the control she has gained over Will and eager to see how far she can push him before he completely unravels. The path ahead for Will, Electra, and Luna is fraught with emotional landmines, each one threatening to destroy the fragile relationships that have been built. Will's guilt and regret over his actions will only intensify as he is forced to face the reality of his betrayal. Luna's manipulations will continue to test his resolve, pushing him to a breaking point where he will have to decide whether he can make amends or if the damage is irreversible. The stakes have never been higher, and the fallout from these events will shape the futures of everyone involved in ways they could never have anticipated. Will Will find redemption, or will he be consumed by the consequences of his choices? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the drama is far from over.